I'm Chef Desmond Keefe, and I'm here in the demonstration theater at Rowan College at Burlington County, and it's time for another episode of the Humble Spud. Today, it's all about fried potatoes. Woohoo! I knew you'd be excited. So we're gonna start off with potato croquettes, a classic dish that I know you're gonna love. It's one of my favorites, and a little later on, we're gonna be making some sweet potato fries. Who could resist that? All right, so let's go ahead and get started. So for our first recipe, I've already taken the potatoes, boiled them, drained them, and then ran them through the ricer so that they're ready to go. So I'm gonna put those right into my bowl just like that. And then from there, what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and crack one egg right into our mixture, just like so. And then I have some minced shallots. I'm gonna put those right in. I have one whole shallot that I'm gonna add right into that, just like that. And then, of course, we got to add a little salt and pepper. So a good pinch of each. I like a lot of pepper, as I think you know by now. And then I got a nice pinch of salt too, because potatoes are always craving salt. They scream for it. And then we got to get some nice fresh herbs in there too. So I have some fresh parsley, and I also have some fresh dill. And I think those are going to be a great complement of flavors to go into our croquette. So let's just go ahead and get those minced up. And we'll put those right in there. One of the nice things about fried food, of course, and especially fried potatoes, is that doesn't always mean deep fried. In this case here, we're going to be frying them in some butter. So it's more of a shallow fry, and it's going to give a really luscious, buttery flavor that you know I love, and I think most of you do too. All right, so that's just right. So there we go there. We're going to go ahead and transfer that right into our bowl with the rest of our ingredients, and then we're going to give that a little stir. All right, give that a good stir. All right, get that knife out of the way. There we are. All right, so that's coming together into that nice form that we're looking for. And here is another one of those items, you know, that if you have a leftover baked potato, you could go ahead, peel it, run it through your food mill, and then mix it into all these ingredients that we have right here. I, again, use the parsley and dill. You certainly are not limited to that. There's many other herbs that would lend themselves to this. Mint, rosemary are all great opportunities, and fresh thyme is another one that I think works really well with this. All right, so now what we're gonna do is we're gonna form these into oval patties. So we're just gonna get those about like that. That's the size we're looking for right there. And so we'll put those right onto our sheet. Yeah. And so we're gonna try and get, probably 6. Try to make them as even size as possible when it comes to that. So we're trying to get 6 to 8. And look, we're gonna get 6 here when it comes to that. And these are a great side dish, especially in this case here with the dill in there. It's a great dish that you could serve with seafood. As a matter of fact, I actually made these last night, and I served them with some beautiful pan-seared salmon, and it just was so complimentary with the lemon, and I like to season I have a special spice blend that I use on a lot of my foods, but in particular, I really like it on seafood, and that is called baharat. It's a great spice mixture, and it's got the cinnamon, nutmeg, cumin, coriander, and of course a little bit of salt and pepper. And I like to put a little chili in there, a little ground chili in there, and of course black pepper. Yeah, so that's a great one. You spice that up, and it just has a tremendous flavor to it. All right, so what I'm going to do real quick is put these in the refrigerator. And that's only for a second because I just want to make my breading to go on top. So I'm going to slide this right out of my way like that. There we go. And that's all there is to it. We're going to just grab one egg, give it a little whisk, There it is right there. Okay, so now I've got my nice panko breadcrumbs. Those go there like that. And so then we're now at the point where we can go ahead and bread up our croquettes. So here they are. They just needed to chill for a second. And then we're just gonna work directly onto this pan right here. So we go from the egg to the breadcrumbs, back onto the pan. And there we go there. We'll go a little bit of egg, and we're gonna toss it in those nice breadcrumbs, give it a good toss, and out they come, just like that, all right? So again, we're gonna go into our egg wash, right, like that, and then we'll go into our breadcrumbs, make a little mess while we're at it, that's okay. We'll get that later. And there they are. And then if you want to, you can even season the breadcrumbs. Sometimes, you know, depending on what it is that's in your filling, you could put some garlic in there or something like that. So, so the breading can also be flavored. So season at every opportunity. That's definitely one of my big philosophies when it comes to that. So there we are there. All right, now we're gonna put these in the refrigerator, and then we're gonna move over to the stove and start frying these up. All right, so now it's time to fry up our croquettes. I've got a pan on the flame right now, and it's a medium heat, and I've got about 4 tablespoons of butter because we love our butter, as we said already, and we want to give that an opportunity to get nice and brown and melty. It's probably more than enough, so I'm gonna take a little bit out. So we don't want them swimming either, so that's just right. There we go. All right, so let's go ahead and place our croquettes right into that butter, just like that. We'll go around where the butter is deepest to make sure that it's not gonna stick to the pan, and so it'll pick up all that perfect flavor. I'm gonna back off on the heat just a touch, and then those are gonna brown for about 3 to 4 minutes on this side, and then we'll go ahead and turn them over on the other side and do the same thing. So while I got a second, you know what I always want to make sure that I remind you all of is that we're here at Rowan College at Burlington County in Mount Holly, New Jersey, and they have, or we have this amazing culinary program. Culinary and tourism and hospitality are all part of the program here at Mount Holly, and I really encourage you to go onto our website, take a look. We are on rcbc.edu/culinary, and if you want to take a look at our Instagram page, of course, that is going to be RCBC Culinary on the Instagram page. And if you want to learn more about Truly Seasoned and find out more about some of the recipes for the Humble Spud, well, then you would go to Truly Seasoned on Instagram to find out more about that. So these look perfect. So let's take a peek on the other side. And I want to go just another minute on there because I like them to have a good brown crust before we flip them over when it comes to that. Yeah, that's pretty good. All right, here we go. So we're going to go ahead and turn these all over now. And then just like I mentioned in previous episodes, safety first, so tilt the melted butter away from you and tilt the skillet like so, and that way you're not going to splash yourself when you put the cake back down in the pan. All right, so that's why I'm tilting it away, just like that. And then we'll slide these forward so that way it's easier for you to see what I'm doing here. So let me slide those like that, then we'll tilt again. There it goes. All right, and last one, just like so. Tilt it, put it in, there it is, just like that. And then just tilt it back again to make sure they're all sitting in that beautiful butter. And we're gonna let that brown just a bit on the other side, and then we'll be able to plate things up. So I'm gonna move that over there for a second, and then I'll transfer this over here so that we can drain a little of the excess butter off when it's time to put it on the plate. We don't want a puddle of melted butter on our plate. It just won't look as pretty. So that's the idea behind that. So we're just gonna let that go for another minute, And then the other thing to remember about croquettes is that, I mean, you could put anything in there. If you wanted to put a little chicken in there or even some shrimp or something like that, then you know, that's going to be more of a main course kind of a croquette. Whereas in this case here, this is a side dish. This is what I consider to be a side dish that you would serve along with your protein kind of a thing. So that's the idea behind this particular recipe, is to use it from that perspective. But I just always like to mention that. And you know, so it's very versatile. You could make a curried croquette if you wanted to, or something like that. So it's all about your imagination and what flavor profiles that you like to do. And that's what I like to do with my students. I like to encourage them, after they've gone through their fundamental classes, you know, of introductory in cooking and introductory in baking, then I encourage them to think about what it is that they might like to do with using their own personality. And one of the best ways to do that is in our a la carte class, which is the restaurant class. When we serve the public on Wednesday nights, all through the academic year, so that's September until May. And what we do there is this student-inspired menu. I tell my students, this is the theme for this particular menu that we're gonna run for 3 weeks to a month. And they all submit recipes, and then we sit down and we talk about them together, and then create a menu, which we then use to serve the public. And I just love that class. I've been teaching it for many years, and the students really take to it. And we had such an amazing term this last semester that just ended, and we have just got another great class coming in the fall. So I'm really excited. So these things are just right. So let's go ahead and now transfer those onto our paper towel here so that we can let them drain for just a minute. Okay. And now we're gonna go back over to our plating area, and we'll whip up a quick sauce to serve with these croquettes. All right, so let's whip up that sauce that I was just mentioning to you, and then we're gonna plate our croquettes. So I've got a little sour cream here, so we're gonna put that right into our bowl, just like that. And then from there, I actually diced up some dill pickles. And because there is dill in our croquette, this is gonna really be very complimentary when it comes to the flavor profile. So that's why I'm doing that. And then in addition to that, I'm gonna just do some nice green, cut up green onions right here. And so we'll put those in, just like so. And then we're just gonna give that a mix. So we'll put that over here, give it a little whisk, just like that. Get that out of my way. And of course, a little salt and pepper, can't forget. And there it is, a nice little dish, nice little sauce to go with our dish. And then we're just gonna take a little bit, we'll put it right on the plate and give it a little smooth like that. And there we go there. And then we're gonna go ahead and serve a couple of these gorgeous croquettes, like so, to go right on top. And there you have it. We have our potato croquettes with a scallion and dill sauce, served for your pleasure. Well, it wouldn't be a fried potato episode without doing a little bit of deep frying to go along with our shallow fry that we did earlier. So let's go ahead and start on our fried sweet potatoes. So sweet potato fries are very popular these days. As we all know, they're high in antioxidants, which is great for your immunity. And so I'm going to show you a couple of things that I think are important when it comes to that. One of the things you might want to be aware of is that sweet potatoes are very dense. And so therefore, using the mandolin is not advisable. It's really hard to push through, and so it becomes a safety issue. So it's better to just use a nice sharp knife to get the cuts that you want to do. So that's what I'm going to do now. I'm going to cut them into about a 1/4 inch size. So we're doing sticks here. And so we're going to just go ahead and cut right across like that with our knife. And then let's move that off to the side, and then we'll go ahead and then cross the other way. So we're gonna just get them lined up. Down we go, 1, 2, 3, 4, perfect. And then the next one's just the same thing. And we're gonna get a nice consistent size, because of course you want them to be the same size when they fry so that they are cooked the same when they come out of the fryer. That's a very important part of that. So now what we're gonna do is go ahead and transfer over to our cooking station, and we'll start working on the fries and the sauce to go with it. All right, so now it's time to blanch off our sweet potatoes before we fry them. And I like to blanch them in just a little bit of boiling water. I know that they're, like if you're gonna make traditional French fries, you could do it in a low temperature oil. So you do a low oil fry and then a high oil fry. For these for sweet potatoes, I prefer to blanch them in a little bit of water. And I think that makes it better so they don't get so greasy, because they will absorb the grease a lot more, so that's my rationale there. All right, so I do have my water, it is boiling, so I'm gonna go ahead and take all these beautiful matchsticks that I've made and put them right in. And this is only gonna be about 3 minutes, so very quick. And so while that's working, let's go ahead and start working on our curried sauce with red peppers. So what I'm gonna do is start off, and I've got some sherry vinegar. I'm going right in the pan with that. And then I have some chopped up red onion, that's going in there. I also have some chopped up jalapenos, putting that in there. And of course, we've got a whole lot of beautiful red peppers. I'm gonna put that in there, all diced up nicely. And then we have some sugar. I've got about a 1/4 cup of sugar in here, because I want that to have some nice sweetness to it to complement the curry. So I have some Madras curry powder right here. I've got some celery seed. We're gonna put that in there. And then finally, I've got some black mustard seeds. And all that's gonna go in there. And that's gonna simmer for about 10 minutes. And now that we're at that point, let me give that a little stir, just like that. Turn the heat up just a little bit. We're gonna let that go for about 10 minutes, and that is gonna be the base for our sauce in just a minute. And so now we've got our sweet potatoes, and they are just about ready. As I said, we're just blanching them for a minute here. So let's go ahead and take a look and see. Yeah, those look just about there. All right, just gonna bring that back up to temp until it gives me a little simmer that I'm looking for. And while I'm doing that, I am smelling this gorgeous curry that's with the sherry vinegar that's going on right underneath of me here. Hey, I wish you could smell this. It's just fabulous. All right, so you're gonna enjoy that when you try that at home. All right, so now we're good there. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm going to drain my sweet potatoes right in this container right here that I've set up. So we'll just take this, transfer it over right into our china cap. Perfect, just like that. All right, now we don't want that to cook too high, so I'm gonna turn that down just a little bit. All right, and then we transfer this right onto these paper towels, because we don't want to have any extra water on them when we throw them in the fryer. So that's what we're doing here. Just gonna let that sit for a minute, let those dry out, and then it'll be time for us to turn around and go to our fryer later. All right, so we took our sweet potatoes, we blanched them off, then we dabbed them so that they were dry, and now we're ready to go ahead and drop them into our fryer later. This is at 375 degrees, and it's only gonna take 3 or 4 minutes to get these to the beautiful texture and color that we're looking for. So let's go ahead and drop them in just like this. So let's get them all into the basket, like so. We'll spread them out evenly so that they don't stick together when it comes to that. Now, of course, if you don't have a deep fat fryer at your home, you can always use a pot with some oil in it and do a fryer in that way. So there's a lot of ways to do it, but I just wanted to show you the professional method. So let me just get that tray out of my way so that once I pull them out, I can transfer them onto a dry, paper-lined tray. So there we go, it's time to drop. And there they are, perfect. Got that gorgeous fry going on for us, just like that. I don't know why that's not sliding into that thing. There we go. That's what I'm looking for. All right, we'll get that out of the way so you can see what I'm doing. Okay, so this is just gonna be a couple of minutes. As you can see, we're looking to see them start to float, and that's a good indication that they are reaching the temperature of internal that we're looking for here. And we'll take a peek every once in a while just to be sure. You know, sweet potatoes, as I mentioned, are just such a popular trend these days when it comes to any kind of recipe, but I think sweet potato fries are one of the keys. And one of the things that is a challenge with sweet potato fries is they don't stay crispy very long, so you have to serve them like right away. And so that's what our plan is right here. So we're gonna get them right out of the basket, and there they are. See that? Look at that gorgeous color that we have right there. And there we are. So we're gonna just shake that for a second, get that extra oil off, and then right onto our tray, just like that. And then while they're still hot, let's make sure we sprinkle some salt on them so it will stick to those fries, and give it a nice shake, just like that. All right, let's go ahead and go over to our plating station and we'll finish up. All right, so now we're gonna take that sweet pepper relish with curry that we made earlier and that we refrigerated a little bit so that it would work well as a sauce, and we're gonna put some of that right into our bowl right here to make our dipping sauce. And then we're gonna just take a little bit of mayonnaise and go ahead and add that in. So we're doing like a 1-to-1 ratio between the two. And then I'm just gonna give that a quick little mix, just like so. Oh, that's beautiful. All right, so those are gonna be a fantastic dip to go with our fries. So now let's go ahead and take some of these beautiful crispy fries. We'll put them right onto our plate, just like that. And then we're just gonna take a little bit of our dipping sauce and we'll put it right on the plate like that. And there we go. You know what we'll do? We'll take one more little dollop of the red pepper coulis and put it right on the top. There it is. And so we have our gorgeous fried sweet potatoes with our curried red pepper relish. I'm gonna have to try one of these because they are looking so gorgeous. So here we go right here, just do a quick dip. Oh, baby, that is fantastic. Can't wait for you to try it. Feel free to touch base with me on Instagram and let me know how you enjoyed it. So that's it for this episode of fried potatoes. We made our croquettes earlier, and now we have our sweet potato fries. Tune in next time when we're gonna be talking about pizza. Woohoo! Stay humble out there.